Hello friends, we're going into a theory about SpongeBob SquarePants here. Before getting started, I just want to say that I am only counting the first 3 seasons and the movie that came out in 2004 as canon here because those are the only times where Steven Hillenburg was the showrunner. And I'm not saying everything after that is trash or anything, but these long-running animated series that, especially if they don't have any actual overarching plot, or a plot at all in the case of SpongeBob, they tend to contradict each other sooner or later, and so you have to decide what is canon at some point, and I figured, okay, this show was created by Steven Hillenburg, so the things he put in, that's canon. Anyways, what I'm getting at here is that Bikini Bottom has been conquered and colonized by a foreign power. During the events of the show, SpongeBob and Patrick and all them are living under the boot of Atlantis. Maybe Bikini Bottom was independent at some point, but probably not recently. It's kind of hard to say. And here is all my evidence for it. Okay, so a recurring character in the SpongeBob universe is King Neptune, right? He shows up in one of the early seasons of the show looking like this, and SpongeBob shows him how to make a Krabby Patty, and just take a look at his character design, and you notice the voice actor and everything, and then later he shows up and he's in live action and he looks like this. Pretty clearly a different person, right? And then in the movie, he shows up looking like this, and he's bald and shit. And he's voiced by Jeffrey Tambor, which, the older I get, the stranger that casting choice becomes. All 3 of those guys are supposed to be kings of Atlantis, right? But all of this came out in the span of 3 years, maybe 4 years, right? So in a lot of kingdoms, right, throughout history, it's been really common for various rulers to have the same name. Right now, England is on King Charles III. They've had, I think, 6 King Georges. In France, they had 17 or 18 different kings named Louis, right? So, looking at them, they're pretty clearly different people, so they just had 3 different kings all named King Neptune. It's also possible that Neptune is just part of the title, maybe in the Atlantean language, King Neptune translates as something like King of Kings. We don't really have enough information to speculate on that. So, for whatever the case is, within the span of about 3 or 4 years, there were 3 different kings in Atlantis, which tells me, okay, this place is pretty unstable, right? Maybe they're dying of natural causes, but I kind of doubt it. I feel like the Atlantean royal court is a frickin' bloodbath. These guys are constantly stabbing, assassinating each other, performing palace coups, that sort of thing. Which brings me to my next point. Look at Bikini Bottom, and what do you notice? There doesn't seem to be an actual government there. You know, there doesn't seem to be a president or a mayor or a governor or any other sort of local government representation. There are a lot of cops, though, so there's someone enforcing these laws that apparently exist, but who are these guys? Who's paying them? How are these laws decided? Remember the episode where there was an Alaskan bullworm that was attacking the city, and they didn't go to the government for help? They didn't call up the army to try and take out the bullworm or anything like that.
It was big! It was all wiggly! And it ate everything!
SpongeBob went to the Krusty Krab, told everyone there, and then they decided, okay, we'll send SpongeBob and Sandy to take care of the worm, but at the same time they decided to take Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else. And I found myself wondering, well, why would they do this? Was there no one they could ask for help? And Bikini Bottom, again, obviously isn't some sort of holistic anarchist commune where there isn't a government or anything because they have cops. And that's when I realized, oh, okay, the cops are from Atlantis, right? Atlantis somehow, at some point, colonized Bikini Bottom. Because remember, in the movie, King Neptune just comes to Bikini Bottom. If it was a foreign country, he wouldn't be able to do that. So clearly it's somewhere in his domain. He just comes to Bikini Bottom and decides to execute Mr. Krabs, a local businessman who is maybe not well liked by the community, but he does have some sway in the community and people like him. Or at least some people like him. SpongeBob likes him. So I think it's safe to say that Bikini Bottom is under Atlantean control. So basically, that's what I'm saying. Bikini Bottom is under Atlantean control, and all the cops are probably not locals. They're either collaborators or they're people that were just straight up sent in from Atlantis in order to keep the peace here and enforce whatever laws they have and make sure that the tribute and resources they want to extract keep flowing to Atlantis. However, this is a very bad, dysfunctional system because the kings of Atlantis, the King Neptunes, keep overthrowing each other and killing each other, so there's no chance for the government to really stabilize, and there's no chance for them to really solidify their hold over their holdings like Bikini Bottom, and as such, Bikini Bottom is not a great place to live. Like when natural disasters happen, they're kind of on their own. And right outside Bikini Bottom, if you remember, again, the SpongeBob movie, right outside the county line, SpongeBob and Patrick immediately get carjacked, and there's no one to turn to for help. And it's, again, seemingly outside the county line is a completely lawless frontier where there is no law and order. There's no cops, no soldiers, no nothing, because the Atlantean government keeps cannibalizing itself. Atlantis is a dying empire, and the people of Bikini Bottom are its victims. I also think that Mr. Krabs might be a collaborator, but I'm not totally sure on that. I would need to rewatch the show and get some more information. Anyways, thank you for watching. Goodbye.